to make the word great again? Answer. Go right with Peter Boykin, constitutionalist for liberty, bringing you the news that matters and do right. Think right, go right, be right. For America, let's make the world great again. Tune in to Go Right News. Let freedom begin.
In a landmark defamation case, ABC's News and its prominent anchor, George Stephanopoulos, have been compelled to settle with President-elect Donald Trump for a whopping $15 million. This settlement marks what many are calling a significant legal triumph for Donald Trump in his upcoming and ongoing campaign against media outlets perceived to disseminate false or misleading information about him. Here's some details about the settlement. Monetary compensation. The network agrees to pay $15 million, which is to be donated as a charitable contribution to Trump's future presidential library. There's legal fees. Additionally, ABC News must cover more than $1 million in legal fees incurred by Trump's legal team, and a public apology. Part of the settlement required ABC and Stephanopoulos to issue a public apology, expressing regret in the erroneous claims made on air multiple times. The statement reads, ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding President Donald J. Trump made during an interview by George Stephanopoulos with Representative Nancy May on ABC's This Week on March 10th, 2024. Here's some background of the case. The accusation. During a heated exchange on ABC's This Week, Stephanopoulos repeatedly claimed that Trump had been liable for rape, a statement made in reference to a civil lawsuit by E. Jean Carroll. This civil case found Trump liable for sexual abuse, not rape, a crucial legal distinction under New York law. But we know it's BS. Meanwhile, Jean Carroll's allegations, Carroll accused Donald Trump of raping her in Bergendorf Goodman department store in the mid-1990s. She didn't even know what year. Didn't know what year. Couldn't give specifics. In the civil trial, while the jury did not find Donald Trump liable for rape, they did hold him accountable for sexual abuse and defamation, leading to a significant financial penalty. Trump has denied these allegations vehemently and is appealing the decision. Stephanopoulos' role in this is the repeated false claim by Stephanopoulos was seen by Trump's legal team as reckless and defamatory, especially given Stephanopoulos' history as a former Clinton White House aide, which some argue could have influenced his reporting. And there's broader implications. Media accountability. This case highlights the accountability of media in our constitutional republic, where freedom of the press comes with the responsibility to report accurately, particularly when discussing legal matters involving public figures. As for me, I'm a public opinionist. I'm a citizen journalist. I am not upheld as much as supposedly the CNN is. I give you my opinion. But what George was giving was not an opinion. He was trying to state fact that was not fact. And this legal precedent, the settlement could be a precedent on how media outlets handle reporting of legal outcomes, emphasizing a need for precise language and coverage to avoid defamation lawsuits. And in Trump's media strategy, Trump has a history of challenging media narratives through legal means, with this case being one of several against major news organizations. His approach seems to aid at curbing what he perceives a biased or false reporting, though critics argue it might intimidate journalists and constrain free speech. Well, There's a difference between free speech and when you're on a actual network like that, and you need to make sure you are covering your P's and Q's. Meanwhile, there's ongoing legal battles in a CBS lawsuit parallel to this case. Trump is also engaged in litigation against CBS News, demanding $10 billion for what he claims are deceptive editing practices during an interview with Kamala Harris on 60 Minutes. This lawsuit underscores Trump's broader offensive against media narratives he believes unfairly target him or manipulate public perception. This scenario reflects a complex interplay between media responsibility, legal accountability, and the exercise of First Amendment rights within the framework of our constitutional republic. It serves as a reminder of the intricate balance required when reporting on contentious and legally sensitive issues involving high-profile individuals. And if you don't believe my news on this, here's a couple of clips that I add to the podcast for you to get this information in some other way, more officially.
You don't find it offensive that Donald Trump has been found liable for rape?
Tonight, the fallout from a bombshell settlement in President-elect Trump's defamation suit against ABC News.
Endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and two separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape.
The lawsuit stemming from this March interview by anchor George Stephanopoulos, where he grilled South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace, a survivor of rape, on how she could support Trump.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. This was a civil court. It was a civil court.
Stephanopoulos falsely saying Trump was liable for rape more than 10 times over the course of the interview.
It has been shown to be rape. The judge affirmed that it was in fact rape. Donald Trump was found to have committed rape. That's just a fact.
In fact, the jury in the E. Jean Carroll case found Trump liable for sexual abuse and explicitly not for rape. Mr. Trump sued, claiming that Stephanopoulos and the network knew or should have known the statement was false. His lawyers citing this interview Stephanopoulos did with Carroll months earlier.
The first announcement was made, and it was that he was not found liable for rape. What were we thinking at that moment?
Robbie and I were sitting together and we were holding hands. Her hand was ice cold.
Complicating the dispute, the judge in the Carroll case clarified in a written opinion that New York's definition of the term rape is narrow, and that the jury's finding, quote, does not mean that she failed to prove Mr. Trump raped her, as many people commonly understand the word rape. The jury found that Mr. Trump, in fact, did exactly that.
It was against my will, and it hurt, and it was a fight.
Carroll alleged Trump assaulted her in a Manhattan department store in the mid-90s. Trump is appealing 2 jury verdicts, ordering him to pay Carroll nearly $90 million. In the settlement, ABC agreeing to donate $15 million to Trump's presidential library, pay $1 million to his legal team, and add a statement to their article on the interview reading, ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding President Donald J. Trump made during the interview. In a statement, the network saying, "We are pleased that the parties have reached an agreement to dismiss the lawsuit on the terms in the court filing." The deal widely seen as a win for President-elect Trump, who has made attacking the news media part of his political brand for years.
We have to straighten out the press. Our press is very corrupt, almost as corrupt as our elections.
Some journalists criticizing ABC's decision to settle. Paul Farhi, former media reporter with the Washington Post, calling the agreement an awful precedent and a huge sellout.
Ken Delanian joins us now. Ken, a lot going on, a lot of people talking about this one. I understand President-elect Trump is now promising even more defamation suits against news organizations.
That's right, Tom. Today, he announced his intention to sue the Des Moines Register over a poll published in that newspaper just before the election showing that Kamala Harris was up 4 points. It was by a really well-known pollster, Ann Seltzer, who subsequently retired and acknowledged that that poll was wrong. It was an outlier. And this is one of many. If he sues, it would be one of many defamation suits he has going against the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Pulitzer Board, Bob Woodward. Mr. Trump portrays himself as a crusader against the news media. Tom.
All right, Ken Delanian for us. Ken, we appreciate that.